But if we go ahead and look at the time, guys, it is going to be about 3 minutes before what they said would be a guaranteed start time. So we will be getting underway. And it looks like, based upon in the lobby here, we're going to Hanamura first. And Hanamura, I think, is a map that there's going to be some bad blood on the side of 2UP. They definitely got routed by Wooridongne, and that's kind of where I get that idea of they got dominated in their series. The game of Wooridongne was just not close. It was an outright, on Hanamura was just outright not close at all. The offense coming out of the side of Wooridongne, I believe, took about a minute or two to take the first point, and they full held the first point on their defense. And they had some amazing combinations. The one that I went back to was there was a great play between Mirage and Oxo, where Mirage, and also the Zarya at the time, the Zarya ended up setting up a Graviton Surge. Mirage at the time, ended up walling behind the Graviton Surge and blizzarding, and that was a little bit of an overcommittal on ultimates. But there was about 20 seconds left on time. McCree uses the Deadeye. He gets himself a quad kill in the blizzard. And the funny part about that is when I go into the play of the game, and you guys can see it in the VOD, that the D.Va is boosting to the McCree. And so I'm really confused because back when I was casting at the King of the Watch way back when, I was casting a game of Fact Fiction, and I really liked what he did. Is he was in a similar situation as D.Va, and of course he boosted in there with Defense Matrix. So I'm not sure if D.Va had Defense Matrix available. If she did, she could have outright stopped that ultimate. Don't know if it would have changed the outcome of the game, but it definitely would have prevented that play of the game. But what I wanted to say is that you can just use the body of tanks. I think this is something that is highly underutilized a lot of the time, right? D.Va herself, when the mech is dying, is still an object that absorbs damage. So in theory, D.Va's HP pool is infinite, right? If you play it out properly, right? If you get in McCree's face and the first bullet knocks you out of the mech, that's fine, as long as the following 3 bullets are all absorbed into that mech body. So there's a lot of cool things you can do there, and I also think that there's lots of similar properties that can go on. I was casting on Sunday with Scribe for the Go 4 series and for the EU Go 4 series, and there was a super cool play from one of the Anox members. I believe it was Anik himself on Numbani. He was getting channeled by a Deadeye. He was playing Torbjorn, right? And he's sitting on the high ground of Numbani. There's a turret in front of him and a Deadeye in front of him across the catwalk, opposite catwalk, and he's like, I'm caught out in the open. Crap. What do I do? Where do I go? Right? Well, he has the, brilliance, or he's probably done it before in a game, one of the two, and he runs behind his turret, and he crouches behind his turret, and the Deadeye hits the turret. And I was just mind blown at the time, because it was like, that's so smart, right? There are so many objects right now in Overwatch that can be used to absorb damage, to negate damage, and it looks like, guys, we will finally be getting into the way, so you guys can be happy to know that my overtalk is officially over. We'll be getting into this here in just a moment. I might need to change around the titles here at the beginning, but no fret, after I get that fixed up, guys, it will just be back-to-back games. Again, I want to give a special thanks to all the sponsors. Of course, special mentions to Gosu Gamers, as they are the ones who have been providing me with all the information and the ones who have been providing the connections and stuff to talk to everyone and make sure everything is as smooth as possible. So again, I really want to give them a big thanks, but there are a lot of sponsors, too many of them to name, and unfortunately not all of them I can properly give the introduction for, but definitely do check out all the sponsors down at the bottom of your screen if you guys have time today, as of course without them this event would not be possible, and these teams would not be able to be given the prize pool that they are. But again, these teams unfortunately are already out of the running. 2UP and at the side of MVP Space, losing yesterday in their games puts them here in this match, which is known as the bronze match. This will be the third place decider. We'll go ahead and get into the introductions best we can, as we have FWJ going to be picking up as Zenyatta. No surprise there. Axie going to be once again picking up as McCree. Again, no surprise there. We also have Noan on as Lucio, and Junkrat and Reaper, and then it looks like it will be a 9K picking up his Reinhardt, and in the previous day he was playing a lot of D.Va and a lot of Winston, so it'll be interesting to see how he does it. MVP on the other side looking to lick their wounds and looking to take a solid third place after honestly being, and a lot of the people I've talked to too, favorite of this event. Poro going to be picking up the Genji. Zarya going to be picked up by his teammate. We have Sylph going to be picking up the Lucio. We have Pelka going to be picking up a Zenyatta. June on a Tracer, and then last but not least is going to be Kuki on the Winston. Now notice that they don't have a Reinhardt. They're not going to be going for a slow push poke comp. They're going to be going for a hard engage, fast engage. They're going to bubble the Winston, and they're just going to immediately engage. So we will go ahead and give you guys a better view of what's going to be happening here. Defense going to be setting up over on the side and waiting for this initiation, and there it is. It's going to be, and it looks like Axie's going to go ahead and take out Kuki. You got stunned up by a trap, and so far right now MVP is losing member after member. The only members really left alive are going to be the supporting crew that can't themselves really get on the point. Zarya can, of course, bully her way around places and get onto the point, especially with this high charge, doing a ton of damage, but with the numbers disadvantage that the offense is experiencing, getting absolutely no kills to start off that match, it's definitely going to be a bit of a hard time. So we will see what ends up happening for them as we get into the next offensive attempt here. Trap goes down, so that's a good start there. As Kuki had a big time with that, big trouble with that last time. But once again, Axie's going to get himself a kill to start off, and this guy's just lighting up. He's going to be looking over to June as 9K takes out Pelka. And it looks like FWJ did go down, so they do lose their Zenyatta, but nonetheless, they definitely have the numbers advantage. As Axie and 9K also going to kill, and now Sylph, he's in a horrible spot, going to end up going down to the flashbang double shot, and that's easy. Now it's going to be last Zarya all alone. And they should just attempt the stagger. We'll see what ends up happening here. Zarya fighting it out. Not going to make it easy. In fact, he'll take out the concussion. Might have been 9K going to come from the background and clean up that Zarya, making it so his teammates will not have to worry about sacrificing too much to stabilize the situation. But we look at the ultimate charge here for the defense. We have a Deadeye already, Sound Barrier, and then, of course, a Riptire, one of the quickest farming ults in the game if you're getting the damage done. You look at the side of MVP, and they are suspect big time when it comes to ultimates. In fact, June even switching from the Tracer over to the McCree. They feel like they need to go to a bit of more of a poke comp, but I would like to see them switch to a Reinhardt if they're going to go ahead and do that. We have a Riptire coming on. We'll go ahead and follow that out as this is in a horrible spot, but Pelka does get better of it and shoots it down really quickly. Before that, could have gotten that triple kill, and it looks like a Deadeye is going to be channeled out here from the side of the defense. Axie not going to get anything done with it, though. Is landing the headshot, though, on Akuki, getting a huge amount of damage. There's going to also be a Graviton Surge flashbang, ends up hitting onto Poro, and if they could take out Poro during this Dragon Blade, this could be devastating, but there's June as well to worry about, and right now Axie just can't hit the shots. Poro will be able to get the slash on him. However, Reaper, as a teammate, was there to back him up, but it wasn't enough. June switching over to McCree, definitely feeling it, and I don't know why they keep switching June over to Tracer. I really have to disagree with this now that I've seen it multiple times. June has been feeling it on his McCree. He's been lighting it up on his McCree. And both of the times that they've ended up switching over to Tracer, it's just not gone well for them. And yesterday, I have to say that I agree with the sentiments that were being said in chat. The Tracer of June just wasn't the caliber of the Tracer that came out of Rhino's Gaming and his counter number there. But it looks like it is going to just be a straight initiation coming out from the side of MVP. They don't want to waste any time as they've already taken the first point. Transcendence going to go ahead and be channeled out as we have a Deadeye coming out from, I believe that was Axie. No, it is going to be June. June going to go ahead and pull the trigger and does go ahead and take D.Va out of her mech, plus the flashbang going to easy kill there as she gets stunned out of it. Now the defense going to have to figure it out as they are going to be down that major body to fight it out. June versus McCree. Axie going to end up losing that too. The Zarya, the teammate of June, is doing a good job staying back. Note that he's not over-aggressing on his position, knowing that he needs to stay alive to continue to get the damage off. Flashbang does get deflected. Could have gone bad, but it doesn't end up happening anything off the back of it. And D.Va's going to be knocked out of her mech. Dragon Blade as well, going to be channeled here from the side of the offense. Poro going to be able to just start dashing, slicing, and dicing, and cleaning up the rest of the defenses. No one should be in a position to go ahead and defend this. It's actually going to be no one going down, but there's going to be another Dragon Blade. This time coming out from the side of the defense, but a Graviton Surge is going to get him caught. Poro's going to help clean that up, and that looks like to be MVP's tempo, and the moment that they needed to go ahead and take this point. Finally seizing full tempo control on this point, bleeding everyone, and there should be one attempt over here from the Lucio to go ahead and get back on the point to stall for the Mei and go ahead and get the wall as well as the block, and there we go. Gonna go ahead and engage in the stall, and this is exactly what you want to do as Mei cycle, wall, blocks, wall, block, and just go ahead and stall as long as possible. There will be a barrier going out here on the offense as it looks like MVP will go ahead and score, taking about 4 minutes to get their execution going. 3 minutes on the first point, about 1 minute on the last point. That last minute execution, very clean, very good looking from the side of MVP. But nonetheless, now they're going to be going up against their opponent's offense, the side of 2UP. 2UP again, they looked absolutely out of sorts on this map on attack. I'm not going to lie, they didn't look like they had any strategies going for themselves, and they were just completely caught off by the situation that ended up happening with the Mei. I mean, again, I go back to Mirage from the side of Open Donghua. He was the player that really got in their way and really made it impossible for them to take the fights that they wanted to, and let's see what they can end up doing against the side of MVP. It looks like it's going to be a completely different defensive look, guys. Now, the big thing about Mei here on this map, and we'll go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a better look here, is that Mei can go ahead and ice wall, of course, right here at this door. What you want to do with Mei, I mean, the surface level is that Mei can subsection fights, right? She can create a wall, subsection, the two tanks, and then you just obliterate them. Maybe the DPS get through, but usually the Zenyatta will not make it through, and sometimes the Lucio won't, so you just obliterate them. But there's a few other cool things that Mei ends up doing right. Her CC can stop healing from a Roadhog, can stop other targets from healing. She has a long-range Icicle. She's a poke hero. She has a decent amount of damage when you can land those headshots. And of course, she can use the Ice Block to bait out ultimates, bait out abilities, and then survive them. So Mei has a lot of utility to her, but again, the surface level, and then you get into the in-depth of it, the ability to manipulate the map can make an absolutely huge difference for you when you can properly manipulate and use it with your team. Again, if you want to go back to a game that really does a good job of, I think, or at least back in the day, StarCraft at the beginning, there was a lot of talk about how important it is to manipulate and change the outcome of the battlefield to favor you and give you that extra space. But the offense here not going to be dealing with that. They are going to be just dealing with a standard setup here. Reinhardt, Zarya, the double support of the Genji, McCree. Nothing out of the ordinary here for MVP, as we do have the Ana going to be coming out. That is definitely new here from the side of Tuop. They were not playing this in their previous match here, and it looks like they are going to be going in very aggressively, setting up on the right side, hotels on the right side building, as all of the offense is going to be in there, and now the defense as well going to be corralling them. This is just an awkward situation, but it looks like Lucio went ahead and got up there, but a great sleep coming out from the Ana. Going to go ahead and put looks like Zarya to sleep, and this fight is just not at all going for the favor of the defense. I don't know why they went ahead and took this fight in this situation. I mean, you are fighting a Winston, but you have the Reinhardt isn't even there right now, and actually we're going to have the Nanostim going on to the Genji before he even has Dragon Blade, and honestly, this is just terrifying to begin with, as he should be able to do a fair bit of damage. Is going to have to be worrying about a Reinhardt now, but will be able to get on the point and bully him off. Reinhardt not going to feel comfortable trying to take that fight, and actually, he's going to go ahead and get his Dragon Blade up so the offense stabilize themselves a decent position so far. First tick is going to be secured, and that's a big part of this, as he should be able to dash away, does have the deflect to prevent any of the damage, and that will be the case. So what does the offense have left to offer here? Axie is going to have a Deadeye. They do have the Dragon Blade follow up, and this is critical. They have the initiation combo, Sound Barrier plus the Gravity. Oh, did he just sleep? No, okay. Is he asleep? No, he's not asleep. Okay, but the Dragon Blade is available, and they're going to go ahead and drop the beat, but no! They end up missing it, but that was Poro. Never mind, I'm mistaken. So we are going to have the Dragon Blade coming out from Genji of the offense. The side of 2-Up going to be doing a Graviton Surge, hitting on 3-4-5, and this is going decently well for them, as the side of MVP did try to get something done with that Graviton Surge, but it just didn't end up working for them. Kuki and Reinhardt are trying to do what they can, or sorry, Poro are trying to do what they can, but right now it looks like Lucio is going to be trying to stall it up as long as possible at FWJ on that Zenyatta, able to do a lot of damage. As that's the nature of Zenyatta. He's the highest DPS support in the game, but also one of the reasons why he is so popularly picked is that he has a unique property that he is the only, well, Lucio can as well, but more so, Zenyatta has no unique trade-offs between any of his abilities. He can keep Harmony up, he can keep Discord up, both independently, and he can do damage without having to worry about that trading off with the Harmony and Discord. So, really strong hero when you can take full advantage of it, and actually FWJ going to be dealing with the, oh no, bit of a mistake there, ends up killing his Ana as the deflect damage goes out from the, oh, and that is going to end up going down to Pelka. So a bit of a blunder there, as we were talking about how he's doing a good job, and now we're going to switch over to Pelka, who got ahead and got that long range snipe. He's going to have his opportunity to have a similar duel there, but it's not going to go well for him. At least not going to go to a situation where he wants to take it. He's going to go ahead and back off and get in a better position. June to come out of the spawn and get a good kill there on the Genji. Needed to do it, and it looks like the defense is going to go ahead and stabilize and hold on, and they need to. Sitting on about a minute behind here on the time bank. It is not the situation you strictly want to be in, given the way that your offense or your defense went. You do want to go ahead and try to stall it out. Yeah, your offense. You went ahead and try to stall it out a little bit longer. Accrue about a minute of a win on the time bank. I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but as the defense, one of your primary goals is always thinking about if we can incur overtime. If at any point overtime incurs, then the side that is taking the point will no longer have another final attempt. And so it is so important that you bleed them down to the point where they don't get that 2-minute final attempt bonus. They just get the last attempt that is going to be actually pulling the trigger on the dead. It does get a few kills, but there's going to be a massive Dragon Blade coming out of Poro, doing a fair bit of damage already. He's already killed up 2, make it a total of 3. I'm pretty sure he did help take out FWJ there with June. And now it is just going to be the Reinhardt left on the point. I'm sorry, man. Deflect. Was that just me, or did that... I don't think you should be able to deflect Reinhardt's... I mean, check me if I'm wrong, chat. I will definitely go over that in the VOD. I just watched him get hit by a hammer twice during deflect and take no damage. I don't think that's how that interaction should work at all. Really weird gut feeling about that. But nonetheless, Poro will go ahead and set that up. Doing a good job about that. But yeah, it feels like a bug in the that just haven't noticed before. Maybe it just he was getting healed and I didn't see the HP going up and down fast enough. But regardless, offense going to have another attempt here as the stopwatch or the time bank is going to be the exact same. 4:56 remaining on both sides. Transcendence available for FWJ as June's going to get the first kill, taking out the Genji, and that just makes it so much harder for the offense. Charge going through, going to also take out their... Oh no, this is not going well for MVP all of a sudden where it was going well. They're starting to lose member after member. Winston, Reinhardt, who needs DPS when you're in a close and closed space fighting out against tanks? There's going to be a Dragon Blade going up for Poro, and he needs to get a lot done with this. He does have a sound barrier as well, but he's not making any decision with it. He's kind of choking here, not exactly deciding what he wants to do. He will end up doing a lot of damage to Axie, maybe being able to clean up the other Genji, maybe being able to do something, and maybe buying enough time for his team to go ahead and set up on the point. Pelka gets himself a double kill, helping out with Kuki. These are huge kills if they can continue to do it. Zenyatta, again, like I said, huge damage output. You got to get him under control immediately, but it looks like they will go ahead and clean up the point as June has switched over to that Reaper, and he's doing a ton of damage. Wraith form available to dodge that damage, and Zarya is going to go ahead and take out Axie during the Deadeye. No Deadeye available, well, at least 58%, and will be charged up for the rest of the fight. But right now, MVP is putting a line in the sand, and they are standing strong by it. This is their moment, their opportunity as they feel the momentum growing in their sails. But right now, you gotta feel a little bit right now for the side of 2UP. They had a really good start to this map. Honestly, a much better start to the side of MVP. It took them really only one attempt as they were able to get in that right side building with the Ana. Just threw off the side of MVP. They lost 3 members early on and the point got taken, but now we look at the time bank and nothing has gotten done since then as FWJ advances forward with his Reinhardt charging in, trying to get something done as 9K does take out MVP Kuki, but is that enough? We'll find out here in a second. A few ultimates going to be coming up here for the defense to give them the opportunity that they need to hold this. Sylph going to go ahead and use one of those, the sound barrier, but June still having access to that Death Blossom could be a changing factor in this game. Kuki going to have access to that Earthshatter in just a moment as the drop beat is going to go after the offense as they push in, but there's going to be a death. No, what a great Zarya beam, just absolutely shredding the Reaper, and now with the Transcendence coming out from the offense as they're going to get a massive control on the point here. The only remaining member on the defense is going to be that Zarya as she gets cleaned up, and now it's going to be on Poro to try to buy time for Mei to get onto the point. We switch over to June to see if he can get there in time, but no, not even close, as they were not able to keep on the point to stall it out. But that will be exactly what I was talking about. The offense gave themselves one opportunity to have a final attempt. So if they get into their next offense here and they're able to take both points within 2 minutes and 54 seconds, 2UP will have one more opportunity on their offense. Now MVP Space is in a much better position. If they take about the same time, 3 minutes, to take the last 2 points, they will still have 2 minutes exactly on their final attempt. But it is worth noting that if they can get there before, right, like if they can get there at 2:01 remaining, then they will have that final attempt in the back pocket for the remaining of the Hanamura series. So I really do think it's important to take note of that, guys, because the final attempt kind of puts a timer, a major timer on the side of the offense that's in that situation. You do only have 2 minutes to go ahead and get your offense done. If it doesn't work out for you, well, that's all there is to it. There's no other chances, no more time gained. That will be changed a little bit in Season 2, but take a quick drink of coffee here as we are going to be having a pretty aggressive offense coming out from the side of MVP Poro. I don't agree with this Pharah pick if they're not going to be running a Mercy. I get that Pelka is definitely confident on the Zenyatta, and Zenyatta is a very popular hero in the current meta. In fact, in a lot of ways, ZP Hex, other commentators, analysts have put it very well. It is a Zenyatta meta. The game is decided based upon which Zenyatta dies first when you're running Zenyatta mirrors, but we're going to be having an interesting clash here as we are going to be having the no Pharah Mercy, or the no Mercy Pharah, going in against the Mei, and Mei's going to land a headshot onto June. That's a huge one, and they're also going to push forward with Winston. That was a bit of a mistake, Winston. You're not in the spot you want to be, and he's going to have to get out of there as soon as possible. Leaps away, and we'll get a live Pelka. We'll be able to take out 9K. So 2 kills so far for the defense, as MVP Space is able to buy themselves that space at the beginning of the map to go ahead and feel comfortable. Wall's going to go down, just going to buy themselves some time. They did lose a player. Note that Kuki's down, so the run is going to be incredibly long. And that's the part that the offense needs to buy on here. They need to try to go for a few more picks here. Axie is going to go ahead and get the kills. So I don't know how this is working out with this Pharah from Poro. I'd really like to see a Mercy comboed up with it. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, Mercy isn't as strong as Zenyatta right now, but there's so much internal synergy between Pharah and Mercy. If you're going to run Pharah, you might as well run Mercy. Resurrection is still very useful in 2 CPs, considering you do need to just stack on points and take them. Resurrection has unique benefits in that situation because your team is naturally going to be dying together. There are ways to benefit yourself by playing that hero, even though she isn't the strongest. But Poro's already going to take a dink, and that's what happens when you don't have that Pocket Mercy. He's just going to get eviscerated. Knocked out of the sky, no healing there for him. Next is going to be Kuki and Axie just absolutely lighting up right there. 4K from him as he's going to land a lot. Can he make it a 5K? Oh, Axie right now. This is exactly what you've been seeing out of your McCree play as he lights up, hits a few dinks, hits a few solid body shots, but all shots hit nonetheless, as the only ones that were missed were honestly absorbed by Kuki's defense matrix, and the second went that went down. You guys saw the kill feed light up Axie after Axie after Axie, as it looks like the defense here from the side of 2UP is really looking to stabilize and set up. They've learned from their loss against the side of Wooridongne, while taking the Mei to their own pocketbooks here in the strategy, or in their own strategy books here. As it is a very common strategy in the Western scene already. I'd say it's gotten to the point where it is very well thought out, and there are definitely ways to go about it. I don't know. Okay, it does go ahead and go around the wall, so she will be able to get the Blizzard on the point and go ahead and deny a lot of it, and Pelka's going to go ahead and just channel the Transcendence to allow his team to get through. Will it end up working? But no, a great wall ends up sectioning them off, I believe, as Lucio was sectioned off in the back, but June got through, so I believe that all of them got through, but there's going to be a Deadeye doing a fair bit of damage, setting it up so Axie, 9king can go ahead and clean up June and Pelka, and that wall is going to prevent the escape here as Winston needs to try to leap away. He will go ahead and clear the distance, but at low HP, he's under risk of dying. Icicles flying around him down to 170 HP. Will go ahead and get away alive for now, but once again, 2UP is coming out very strong right now. Is that an animated one? Yeah. Congrats on your top 500. As we'll see what ends up happening here. I don't know what the side of MVP is thinking. Oh, awkward turtle. That's not what's supposed to happen. That's a mismic. That's a misplay. That's a misclick. As he's going to end up losing his life for it on top of it if he's not having a long enough moment to think about it. Now he does, as Pelka's going to end up taking out the FWJ. And right now you have to wonder whether or not 2UP is a little bit too much in that zone and making a mistake, as Poro's going to get himself a double slash in that enclosed space. And that's the last place you want to be, is an enclosed space with a Genji who has a Dragon Blade active. You're not stuck in there. Or he's not stuck in there with you. You are strictly stuck in there with him. He gets himself a double kill, cleans up the fight, and Poro's going to go ahead and push forward. But again, that's a little bit awkward, right? Like, if he had that Death Blossom, who knows what would have ended up happening there? I mean, you have to think about that in that situation. And it sucks. As a player, it can really get in your skin. But that's where you as an individual, as a player, you need to step up the mental game and say, it happens. The biggest player, or the best players in the world will, at some point, someone down the line will make a misplay like that on the land, and they're just going to have to get past it and move on. So can he do it? Can he allow that to not affect him? We'll find out. Poro actually going to be switching over to the Reaper. So yesterday I was saying they really didn't play a lot of Reaper, but it seems like they're preferring it here on the Hanamura map, as we are going to have the Transcendence going out and keeping up the Reaper as Poro is dueling up against him. But I don't believe it's going to be a winnable duel for Poro. He's going to have to Wraith form out and re-back up and set up, as it is going to be a nice wall, walling him off and preventing his re-engage as the chase comes out. But Poro's got the better jump here, and that's not good. As Axie, no, never mind, that's okay. Axie gets himself a kill in the background, and so does Mei. And it looks like Axie going to miss the few last shots on Silpa. Will get the flash. Bang, great Wraith form, gonna dodge that, will die regardless though. And June, oh, what shots from June. Only really had a small window there to hit the target twice before having to back out, because if the defense decided to engage on him, it would be a hard situation. But MVP space, you guys hear the sounds, you guys hear the audio cues. It is time for them to get in position and get going right now. They don't have time to figure it out outside of it. 14 seconds remain here, as they do have an ultimate from Kuki. They do have a Poro ultimate, the Death Blossom, and they are going to have the Primal Rage here from Winston. But what can they get done? Winston's going to go ahead and get the Primal Rage out, as he's going to try to get what he can done. Poro doesn't actually get hit by the sound barrier, but a great knockoff going to put... Oh, that was absolutely amazing, but no one, critically, no one was on the point. MVP making a critical blunder there. Winston... a little bit overcommitting to the zoning there. Reaper having to wait for that Deadeye. I mean, I can't blame the Winston, because at the end of the day, right, you have to look at it in two different situations. The Winston was having two major jobs at once. Not only was he the one in charge of getting on the point and contesting it in time, but he was also the one in charge of space creating, chaos creating, havoc creating. I mean, honestly, in a lot of situations, if you can create a lot of havoc on the side of the enemy team, that gunks up communication, that gunks up team shotting, that gunks up ultimate usage rate. And that's really what Winston's good at, is it's like, oh, I have my ultimate, but now I'm across the map, guys, so give me 5 seconds to set it up, right? That's chaos, that's Discord. Well, I thought Lucio had ultimate. I did. I got knocked away by Winston, right? So there's all that stuff, and that was an important job that he ended up doing, because if you notice in the background, he knocked the McCree. I can actually go ahead and fly over there, as we have a second. McCree was standing right here with the Deadeye at the last second. Whoops, right here. Well, right here, and he ends up jumping up, knocking him, and McCree goes flying out here. But the second that he turns around to go get on the point, I believe he fell into there and he couldn't get back up in time, and that's the end of the game. So a little bit too much work cut out for the Winston. He will end up, the side of MVP will end up not taking the 4th point. So now 2 minutes and 55 seconds is all that really matters here. There is no final attempt to logic left, guys. It is just going to be for playing for 3 outcomes. If the side of 2-up is able to take the first point, but unable to take the second, we will, of course, go into a tiebreaker match. If they're able to take the second point, then we will be awarding a point to them. And if they are unable to take the first point, then MVP Space will have secured themselves the first match. But it looks like Poro is going to be getting the first kill, and June as well. Already lighting it up, doing a lot of damage. We're going to go ahead and switch over to June, as he seems to be doing a fair bit of damage. 9K ends up just jumping off the side of the map. That was the smart decision, considering the situation, and a push forward from the side of the defense, as they could go ahead and clean up the Genji, and they will. June, feeling confident with his aim, going to go ahead and push forward and land those last few clutch shots. Poro going to be affected by the debuff, but that's not a big deal at all. Biotic Grenade will wear off. But Ana, not able to get the same effect that they wanted, but they played it a lot differently. I don't like that strategy compared to the way they did it before. They got in a huge grouping together inside that building where the Biotic Grenade is able to hit all of them, and there we go, perfect. That are going to be channeled by June, and this could be a big problem for them, as they aren't going to be able to get value out of this. Does end up getting some damage, but not a lot of value, as we are going to be having Ana get close to the ultimate. Multiple available for the defense here, as MVP Poro is going to have access to that Dragon Blade here in just a second, and a dash through is going to go ahead and set that up. He even gets the reset so he can dash back through, but he ends up missing the angle. We'll go ahead and get the Dragon Blade out and dashing back through, getting the slashes. It's going to be hard for him to see what he's doing, but he does end up dying. 9K there with the great swing is going to go ahead and take him out, but there's the defensive Reinhardt charging through. Kooky June going to be cleaning it up as another charge comes through, but it's not enough, as it was the side of 9K going down during his charge. No, Ann. You're going to go down. There you go. Dead. You're all alone. Not much you can do there as a Lucio left in that situation. Audio cue there for the Reinhardt charge, as FWJ will land a shot onto the Zarya, but no more damage outside of that. And right now, you got to be feeling a little bit of pressure here for the side of 2-up. They were feeling so confident, I'm sure, going into this, but Dragon Blade plus a stem pack is Nano Stem is a lot of damage and a lot of threat, as he will continue to push forward, not only getting 1 but 2 kills so far. Can he continue to get more, as he's going to be a little bit low on HP, but a greater shatter going to be coming out from the defense. Kooky lining up his team the best he can, and now they're going to use the barrier coming out from Self, going to allow Kooky to get a great charge, and now Graviton Surge as well. MVP Space just using every ultimate channeled, every ultimate staggered so well right now. Transcendence to come off the background, and right now the offense just does not have any of the answers, but they have the fight in them. They're not giving up, doing a good job fighting it out, as we are going to have a switch over to Reaper at the last second. As Graviton Surge goes out and gets all of MVP Space in one spot, but there's no follow-up. And a bit of a blunder there from the Zarya. They definitely felt like they could have taken that fight, but now, with only 30 seconds remaining, oh, 2-up. You got to be feeling the pressure for him right now. We're going to go ahead and switch over to the side of Axie, as he really does need to light up on this Tracer. He needs to get in a good zone, a good flow, get that first pick, get that second pick, snowball, and get in that back line. Make those supports life hell, but as it stands, June is going to be in the way to stop that. Kookie's going to land himself a massive Earth Shatter, and I think that just might be the game-winning play, as 9K goes ahead and gets the kill onto Sylph. There's not going to be the opportunity for them to take the second point. Even if they take the first one, they will have to go ahead and get somebody over there to contest immediately, as the pulse bomb goes out from the defense. June, no casualties from that, but a pulse bomb coming out from Axie. That one's going to land big time, hitting onto Kooky, taking him out, and now we're going to have to be worrying about the side of June stalling it out, but the overtime has been incurred, and it will be playing for the tie here. There is no risk of 2-up winning. MVP Space has secured them the guaranteed tie or the win, and it will be a tie as we go to 3-3, and we will not be honoring the coin flip. We will be going to a tiebreaker on King of the Hill. Apologize, guys, having a little bit of allergies, as it is the late blooming allergy season, but nonetheless, that was just an absolutely crazy match. 2-up getting kind of dominated there at the end, but are we going to be doing a coin flip? I believe we'll be going back to, yeah, there we go. So we'll be going to, we played Nepal yesterday, so I believe we'll be doing Nepal again. But we'll see what ends up happening, as I do need to switch over to this screen. There we go. And ready here. But that was just, I don't know. It's hard, right? Because like as players in that situation, it's hard to really get down to what ended up happening. But I really want to say it was an individual performance. Individuals lighting up versus other ones not. You looked at June there at the end. He really started to feel his McCree. He was landing a lot of shots. Poro, absolutely huge plays on the Genji. His Dragon Blade was getting pretty good value, and you look at the side of 2-up's Genji, not getting as much value. Even with the Nano Stim, he was only able to get double kill with that Genji Blade, and that's kind of like a lot of where the pros have been saying, you know, Anna's good. Don't get them wrong, or don't get any of the analysis wrong. Anna can be a very strong hero, but what I want to say is, and again, I am a big proponent of her, so take it with a grain of salt. I really like playing her. I really would like to see her in compositions. I really think she has a lot of potential. But the thing about Nanostem is you use it on a DPS such as Reaper and Genji and your Pug Stomp. Sure, that's fine. Your DPS player is going to go and he's going to dominate them because they're not going to have that communication. But if you look at these top level competitive games and they say Genji's Nanostemmed with Dragon Blade, two things are going to happen from the side that says that. One, they're going to group up in a position in which they can take the Genji on as a team. Two, they're going to be focusing him as a team using CC abilities to prevent him from getting any damage. Of course, same thing with the Death Blossom. I mean, it's an all-in situation. You could get the same value out of Dragon Blade, you could get the same value out of Death Blossom if they weren't nanostemmed. So why not just get the nanostem the tanks, which is what we see from a lot of the Western teams when they're playing at nanosteming the Reinhardt, nanosteming the Winston even sometimes. But we're going to have the fight already break out. We'll go ahead and get onto the Tracer duel over here between June and his opposite number, but it doesn't look like it. It is going to be a clear win, as actually it is going to be Axie going up against June. Who's going to end up winning? Axie is going to end up going down there. Does land the flashbang, but misses the headshot. A bit of a blunder there, as it is going to be June versus Winston, doing a fair bit of damage to him. 9K going to be playing that. Of course, you're not going to be running Reinhardt on these maps. The only reason you run Reinhardt is if you're going to be running a Bastion. That's pretty much the only synergistic situation we see Reinhardt a lot of the times. Clutch is one of the teams, if you guys want to study a Western team that does use Reinhardt all the time, Clutch from the North American scene does do it, but pretty much every other team is going to be running these Winstons, and so far this is just a basic duel. No one's really gotten the advantage, but there we go. Zarya's going to end up taking out Axie, a big damage that's going to be going down in there. Also 9K goes down, and this is where June's just going to snowball. He's going to first take out Noah, and he's going to be able to push in continually, but don't know about that recall. Had the bubble on top of him, could have continued to push in, and that's the moment where you got to smell blood in the water, and you have to get what you can, not greedily, but you have to get the most value out of the situation that you have. If they did stagger the Tracer there, they wouldn't have to worry about the Tracer in the upcoming fight for a few more seconds, but nonetheless, it is just a Tracer. Respawn time plus the triple blink will allow Tracer to get back in the fight really quickly. Let's check out the ultimates here. We have a Transcendence, Pulse Bomb, and Graviton Surge coming out. Speaking of Graviton Surge, looks like it is going to be 2-up going ahead and throwing out their ultimate, as I will get the titles switched up here in a second, guys, as it is going to be 2-up, getting the kills here, dominating on this fight. Great Graviton Surge onto the Transcendence. Also going to be doing a lot of damage, keeping their teammates alive, but there really wasn't the response coming out from the side of MVP Space. They didn't have their ultimate combos to make the same difference, as they will end up losing the fight and having to come back and take another fight for the point. We have Kuki going to be having that Primal Rage to knock targets out. They have their own Transcendence and they have the Pulse Bomb. They are going to be coming up on their own Graviton Surge, and the Sound Barrier is what they ended up using from Sliff, but it didn't end up doing enough there, as it is going to be 9K taking out Pelka. Tracer onto FWJ, but not able to take him out. Poro's going to be able to take out the Zarya, and that's a big start there. Zarya for the side of MVP Space is taking a ton of heat. Going to be low on HP. Does have that Graviton Surge available, but does end up going down to both the combination of 9K and the Tracer, as that's going to be the goal of Tracer and Tracer, Genji, and Winston. Their goal is to get in the background onto the Zenyatta, blow him up as soon as possible. Noah's just going to end up jumping off the map, I believe. Not sure exactly what ended up happening there, or if he got knocked out. Pelka's going to end up getting that kill as he gets another one onto Tracer, and Pelka's just having a very good time right now. He doesn't seem to be under any duress at all. Going to be looking for the shots onto the Genji, as again, really, yesterday there was, never mind, we are going to have right into the fight. A Transcendence and a ground Sound Barrier, a little bit of a mistake there from MVPs. We're going to have a great, who cares about mistakes when you have a Graviton Surge like that that's just going to clean house. Everyone getting caught in that matters. The only two heroes remaining are going to be a Tracer and a Zarya, and I can tell you guys right now that they can want to take the point, but as a duo, they're not going to have the ability to take on 5-6 heroes. But what I wanted to say yesterday is Rubicon in an interview, as Anox was able to secure themselves a chance in the Overwatch playoff, live playoffs, as they did end up winning yesterday. It was a very awesome match for them. But what I wanted to say is Rubicon in his interview cited the fact that right now it is so hard to stay alive as a Zenyatta. You have a Tracer, Genji, and Winston diving you, and that's the goal of all three. But so far, it looks like it is going to be another Graviton Surge combo, setting up the fight and buying the opportunity for a point of the point flip, as it is going to be 9K in the background with that Graviton Surge from his teammate, getting that huge cleave, and he's jumping off, I believe, to switch heroes. That isn't a random suicide. I believe that was intentional, because he does want to go ahead and get another hero up, but I don't know if I strictly agree with that given the layout of the map. And it does feel like we have it every single time, Coucher, but that was just a great tie nonetheless on Hanamura. I have to say that was a pretty exciting match, but so far, teams having moments of mistakes, teams having moments of brilliance, but no team is really able to get the better end of the deal, as we are literally at 86 to 87 or 84%, and Kuki's going to be able to take out FWJ, but Axie onto Pelka, so both Zenyatas are down. Keep that in mind. No Harmony Orb is available, and Poro on an escape plan, trying to get away from Winston, but 9K says nope. I'm just going to go ahead and leap. No aim, no brain, must be Winston main, shocking everyone in my way as I continue to push forward and clean them all up. 9k on this Winston, doing so much work for his team, creating so much space. And then in the background, Axie's going to go ahead and take advantage of that space and clean it up with the Dragon Blade. And that will be 2-up, taking the first map as they do win the tiebreaker. And guys, I have to be feeling a little bit for MVP here. This is what happened last series, or yesterday. As it is going to be Poro having played the game regardless. What I wanted to say is that it ended up being a situation there yesterday where they were doing alright on their map, and then it went to tiebreaker, and they ended up having a King of the Hill map that went back and forth, but there was just a moment where the other team, of course at the time that was Rhinos, was able to get a solidified advantage in the situation, but right then, right there, I don't know, at the very end, 2-up was able to take it, guys, and that will be Nepal going over to the side of 2-up, as I will go ahead and update that before I take a quick drink of coffee. Guys, again, thank you all of you for tuning in. We're definitely getting some bigger numbers than yesterday. I really want to say thank you so much, guys. This is just the beginning. We are only watching the 3rd place deciding match right now, as we will have the finals coming up for you guys afterwards. I'm not sure exactly how long the break will be because the finals is playing offline in a studio. And so there will be a little bit more production before the finals gets underway, but hopefully it should just be right afterwards, as we'll get right into it, guys. But nonetheless, again, thank you so much for all of you tuning in. And it looks like, oh, we are going to have a remake. So I will go ahead and leave the lobby, guys. 1 second here while I drink some coffee. And of course, my allergies have to be giving me the most issues in the morning early on. It can't be at night when I'm trying to relax. It has to be when I'm waking up to cast. I apologize, guys, for any sniffling or any weird nasally voice sounding, more so than I normally do as a nasally nerd. But at the same time, I do want to go ahead and apologize for that. Allergies are allergies. We will be moving to Route 66 for the next map. Again, it is going to be 1-up in favor of the side of 2-up. If 2-up is able to win this map, it will just be MVP's ticket home. They will be going home in 4th place. And again, I am genuinely surprised by what's going on right now, as I really feel like at the end of the day, it was MVP that I would have been putting in the finals versus... I mean, I didn't really know between Wooridongne and 2-up. I don't really know as much about them as I do about MVP a little bit. Of course, I have watched June. I have watched a little bit of Poro. I have watched Pelka back in the day. I have watched also a lot of what is now, I believe it is eHome, got picked up. But of course, Lime and their team. But I just haven't been able to really study Wooridongne 2-up. So I really didn't have a gauge. And I really just honestly gut reaction, right, based on what I've seen, that it would be a favor to the side of MVP space. But they seem to be having a hard time. But Dorado, we're going to be, or Route 66, we're going to be channeling over to there. Dorado, Route 66. They're literally the same map, right, guys? No, not even. One takes place in technically, like, I believe it's like Arizona or New Mexico. It is Route 66. I am in New Mexico myself, actually, near the good old Route 66. But of course, that is an old highway that used to travel through the west. It was the highway that they used to get all the way over to the western side of the world, or western side of the United States, back during the expansionism of the era. And that, of course, is what this is kind of an allusion to, is that whole period of time, as it is going to be the classic Route 66 cafe, gas station, Big Earl's 24-hour service station with no refunds, no surprise, but they do have an AP ATM, so if you guys do need to stop by for some cash before this game gets started, you can go ahead and do so here. And gas is also available for you guys. But this is going to be the main place that the defense is going to set up. Actually, it's going to be like, ha ha ha, guys, I got you now. You think I'm playing Junkrat, but he will probably be switching off of that. But again, this is one of the most unique places in the game, right? So you look at this from the defensive perspective, right? We'll go ahead and go a little bit over, but if you look over to the right, you got those 2 doors controlled by Big Earls. You got the left side bend controlled by Big Earls. How do you get up on Big Earls? This ramp controlled by Big Earls. How do you get up? This catwalk controlled by Big Earls. Controlling this spot right here, specifically this corner right here especially, gives you so much angle of fire. And then the other unique benefit of this spot is if you stand right on this white line right here, as a Reinhardt or as a Winston, you can contest the cart from the high ground, and that is something that you can go ahead and do. But we will be having the game start up here in just a moment, guys. This will be 4 minutes on the clock here from the side of MVP space. Or sorry, from the side of 2-up, as they will be taking on the defense of MVP space. A little bit of a switch up, as MVP space is going to be starting on the defense. Poro, June playing their standard combo here. as we will go ahead and get into it, as there is going to be a Pharah and a Bastion to protect the Bastion strategy coming out from the side of 2UP. Didn't even notice this, to be honest, as he is going to go down to June. No one there to block him up. I don't know why they didn't have a Reinhardt if they're going to be going for a protect the Bastion. Protect the President. El Presidente going down right away, and now it's going to be Zarya pushing forward, can continue to do damage to Pharah as well as the supports, and just put them in a bad position. June's going to be able to clean up the support, and also they're going to be able to take out 9K, so he's going to have a 10-second respawn before he can even think about getting back in the fight and fighting it out with his team. I don't really know about that strategy. They do go ahead and go for something a little bit cheeky, maybe trying to crush the morale of MVP, saying, hey guys, we can beat you with this cheddar cheese. But they were ready for it. MVP saying, nope, we're used to it. We know what to deal with. We've watched other games. We know the Bastion can be put on a payload. But again, I'm surprised they didn't at least have a Winston to bubble him and something of that nature. They didn't even really Zarya bubble him. To my visual understanding of the situation is 9K is going to take out Kuki, and that's a good start here for the side of the offense. But June might be able to get himself a pretty good Deadeye. Defense Matrix going to be there though. Flashbang not going to get absorbed by it, as he did cancel it to go ahead and start to do some damage. But June, now still alive, going to be starting able to land the shots. FWJ, he gets absolutely shredded. Justice is going to get rained from above and absolutely shred the defense, as Soph is going to be the only member to really stay alive. He's going to try to stay on the payload and fight it out, as he does take out the Pharah. There is also going to be a Winston, as that is going to be Kuki trying to fight it out, but he has to fight against too many heroes. It is going to be a Dragonblade coming out from the side of Poro. What can Poro get done with this? The self-destruct goes down. He's actually going to be Axie getting the double kill, taking out both Kuki and Sylph, but it looks like it is going to be enough here for the side of the defense to stabilize. Maybe. I say that, but Poro with the Dragonblade is going to be forced off, as he doesn't get any kills with it. That self-destruct basically negating the timing of that, and now we are going to have a Transcendence coming out as well to go ahead and buff up the defense, keep their HP pools very high. A little bit of a greedy one, though, as Pelka's already going to be out of it, not going to be able to get any value out of his Axie. Does get sound barriered up, continuing to push forward, trying to stay alive. Looking for this Genji is going to take out Poro, but June, he's there to answer. He's able to clean him up, and that's exactly what you need to shut down that kind of play. As Poro getting killed there could have given enough fire over to Axie to light up the next few shots for him. That's really all it is. At the end of the day, games are momentum. Games are feeling from players' flow, lines of play, etc. And if you can shut down a player as they're starting to get on fire, that is so important. Axie getting shut down there, is now it will be Poro having another opportunity to get something done. To grab it down, so it's going to go out for the side of the defense, getting everyone caught up guard. And it looks like it's just going to be an absolute clean, as both the Zarya and the Winston are going to be all the follow-up they need. Apologize for that, guys, as we are going to have Kuki doing a lot of damage on that Winston with that cleave. Then you factor in that the Zarya is at high damage. She's going to be able to just do so much damage with those lobs, able to absolutely eviscerate the side of 2UP. And the defense from MVP Space is looking very strong right now to start it off with. Axie, 9K. What can they end up getting done here? They're the only ones with ultimates, really. The Genji is going to be decently close. He needs to get some damage done. Looking for the shots onto the Genji, but a Dragonblade going to be coming out from Boros. He's going to be looking to immediately take out Axie, I believe, but he's just going to dash around taking out FWJ. Axie goes down to June regardless, and now with 39 seconds remaining, the side of 2UP has got to be feeling a lot of sweat. Why did you go Bastion at the beginning? That's probably what they're asking themselves. Ended up losing themselves the first fight, not getting anything done with it, and now they're just going to go ahead and stagger. Great play coming out from the side of MVP. As 9K is like, please, please, just kill me. But they're just going to wait the max amount of distance. Poro going to go ahead and commit the execution at the end, right when there's no time left for him to really respawn and get anything done. It will be a frantic respawn from the Diva. And now, just respawning, 12 seconds remaining, 2UP. What can they do? MVP Space has some ultimate to work with. They do have a Transcendence. The offense, oh, MVP Kuki ends up taking out Axie, and Noan's getting super low, and the Genji as well is going down low. This is just not good. Dragonblade will be channeled out, but they're not going to get anything done with it, and the payload barely makes it around the first bend. Second bend, I apologize, around the gas station, the service station, over to the catwalk of the stairwell.
Switching sides.
Man, MVP Space is just kind of, it's so hard to evaluate these games. It just feels so back and forth. And again, it is partially some mistakes, but it is also partially just some great play, is the best way to say it. But there it is going to be the point, guys. If the payload successfully makes it to that point, it will be MVP Space tying up the series 1-1. If MVP Space is unable to do so, then it will be a 0-2 going over to the side of 2UP, as they will go ahead and clutch the map. So it is going to be all on their defense. They have to get everything out on, all chips on the table here on their defense for this map if they want to go ahead and take the series right now. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what the defense is going to be setting up with. Nothing too exciting here, guys, as I am going to mute my mic here just for a second.
This is where I picked up the damning rate.
Apologize there, guys. Had to clear out my nose so I could continue to cast without any major issues, any sniffling, any horrible noises coming out of me, as it will be the side of Zarya. It will be just, yeah, very standard defense. So they're going to be running a Reaper. Actually, no, you know, I do like the Reaper here a lot more. This is usually what you see on the Western scene. Of course, there's a lot of benefits to it. I think Joshi put it really well in a cast recently on the Overwatch Open. There's like multiple logics to it, but one of the newer logics that you can buy into is that the defense doesn't have to really move forward, right? The defense is a naturally static position. They only have to worry about defending their backline. And when you're aggressing into a target, one of the worst targets to run into is going to be, of course, that Reaper, because he can just eviscerate you as you push forward, and it doesn't go well for you. But nonetheless, it is going to be just a progression-based situation for the side of MVP Space here, as we're on the defensive Reaper, and already Axie's going to get himself a kill, taking out the Zarya. Not sure what ended up happening there. No bubble from her. Of course, by now, it would be too late to evaluate whether or not the cooldowns are up, as they do run during the death screen, but Poro's going to end up taking some damage to have to back up. June as well. Sylph, they're all just going to have to back up, as the defense goes for a hard engage there. Will force them off the corner, off the payload, and allow themselves to set up and give themselves an opportunity to up, already successfully using up 40 seconds of MVP's offense here without anything really gained. Poro going to go ahead and dash forward as well with the Winston. That's exactly what you need, is the double initiation. But 9K going to go ahead and clean him up, and the flash being deflected by Poro. But can they clean him up? That's going to be the big question here. Axie getting super close to his dead eyes. It is going to be another initiation from Poro. He's just trying to stay as evasive as possible, being as annoying as possible. In June, of course, across the way, going to continue to take as many shots as he can and do as much damage as he can, but they don't seem to have gotten the payload that far. I mean, it is very close, of course, but the next, the flashbang not going to end up doing anything, as they are going to kind of regress forward. Oh, actually, no, they're not paying attention to the payload. They are going to have to engage on it here. There's going to be the Reaper jumping onto Poro as the initiation comes out from Kuki onto the high ground, plus the Genji, as we are going to see the overhead view give you guys a little bit of a better idea of what's going on over on the right side. There's going to be a Graviton Surge catching onto a few, but June's going to go ahead and take this as an opportunity to channel the Deadeye. Axie's going to go ahead and channel his own Deadeye here, and this could be huge, as they need to get good value out of it, but June with his double kill Deadeye is already getting more. Kuki's going to take on Noan, and I think we're going to have a tie series here, guy, in just a second. 1 meter remains, and that's going to be it. MVP Space will take the second map, and so we will tie up the series 1-1, and we will be going over after the play of the game, of course, into the AFK, or the caster screen. MVP Poro going to be getting the play of the game with that Dragon Blade. It seems like it is going to be the one. Oh, this wasn't even a Dragon Blade. This was just absolutely disgusting. Doesn't even get the deflect kill. Oh, he doesn't even need the deflect kill. Absolutely disgusting play coming out of him. And I gotta say, guys, that was just absolutely amazing coming out from the side of MVP Space there on their defense and their offense. I mean, their offense could have been a little bit cleaner. It took them about 2 minutes to go ahead and get it done, but Lijiang Tower looks like it's going to be the last map, so there's no risk of a tie. This is just going to be a best of 3. Winner of this takes it all, as we are tied up 1-1 in the series, and it is going to be a ready up from both teams, ready up from me, and once we have a ready up from the admins, we will be getting right into it, guys. And again, I do apologize for any sniffling along the way. I am experiencing some allergies right now, as I am a little bit low on sleep, I'm sure. The allergies are just loving the situation, but going to be getting right into the game. Again, I'd like to give a special thanks while I have some time here before the beginning of the final map. Again, definitely a big thanks to all the sponsors who brought together this event. The prize pool, the $2,700, plus the sponsorship, plus the gear, plus the guaranteed spot in the following league is not at all possible without all the sponsors you guys see below. Of course, a few of them being Logitech, Play Factory, Rockcat, and many more. But a big special thanks, of course, to Gosu Gamers, who have helped out along giving me the opportunity for this casting, as well as providing the sponsorship for the providing some sponsorship for the event, but also and just being awesome along the way and making it very simple for me to just get in these games, focus on casting, and worrying about providing you guys good commentary with the matches instead of having to worry about other things. So definitely do check out all the sponsors who are responsible for bringing you guys this event. But this is the 3rd place decider match, as it is going to be MVP Space versus 2UP, a best of 3 on Lijiang Tower. Winner of this will take the series. And again, thank you all of you guys for tuning in. We are getting a few more members, as it is going to be the finals coming up after this. Definitely get out on social media, definitely spread the word, as it will be Open Donwa taking on the side of Rhinos Gaming Wings in a best of 3 after this. Winner gets that $2,750, I believe it is, plus gear, plus sponsorship, plus a guaranteed spot in the next league. So big game coming up next, but right now the pride of these two teams is on the line in a best of 3 of Lijiang Tower. Whose pride will walk away harmed, whose pride will walk away not so bad. Even though 3rd place is only a consolation, it is still better than losing in the losers match. as it is going to be a Junkrat here on Lijiang Tower. Not something we really see that often on this map at all. This is something that is really a specialty of Sanctum on Nepal, but he's going to go ahead and land the double direct onto the Winston as he goes ahead and initiates in, and that's not at all what you want to be seeing as the Winston taking those double directs on the grenades. It's going to be a fair bit of damage. And they are going to go ahead and get control of the point, I believe, here at the beginning. And that's just going to give this Junkrat all the spam and opportunity he needs to get the damage done. As, of course, he is one of those heroes that when he has the space to operate, he can continue to get more and more damage, continue to wrap up, continue to stay alive, and deny space, giving himself more space, giving himself more ultimate farm. Junkrat's just a hero that can kind of feed off of himself, and also just the traps that he provides as space can make a big difference. But already going to be getting up that Junkrat tires. He's going to get a lot of damage with that spam, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, going for the directs on the barrier, but will end up going down. No, I say that as Kuki ends up getting taken out by the Junkrat, and Axie in the background going to get himself a triple kill as he takes out the Zarya and the Zenyatta. Can he make it a 4K? As he's not going to go ahead and pursue out onto the Lucio. Going to say, fine, that's good enough for me. I got myself 3 kills. And now June's going to get staggered here at 38% to 0% at the beginning of the map, as it is going to be 2-up, taking an early lead to this with the pocket strategy of that Junkrat, something MVP Space was not practiced for or ready for, possibly, as it is going to be another Riptire available here for him, and that could make the big difference. We'll go ahead and switch away from this in a second, see if it gets enough damage. As it is just going to go ahead and go on the Winston. Kuki goes down, and now it's going to be on Axie, as he's not going to have to worry about that Winston. But no, he gets taken out by MVP June. Flashbang headshot. Easy kill there, and going to also be able to farm up some of that ultimate on the trap. Now going to be looking to get the shots onto the Zarya, but only lands 2. 9K able to take out Sliff, and this is just the situation that I keep talking about here for the side of MVP. They're having a very hard time getting their offense going, as the Junkrat spam, just the spam from the Zarya, just the spam from the Zenyatta. So much poke coming out of the composition that is available to the side of 2-up, as the flashbang is going to go out, but it gets absorbed by the barrier, so 9K not going to get hit by that at all, as he is going to have the ultimate available. Transcendence is going to end up ending, so he will be about half HP before that's over, and it's going to continue to push forward. Bubble from Zarya going to help him stay alive, and he's going to take out the Zenyatta, making it so much easier for them to take out the Zarya, as maybe, no. Axie is going to be able to take out Sliff in the end, though. Axie will go down to Kuki in the end. Graviton Surge going to come out from the side of 2-up, as they're going to go ahead and just control them at the entrance. There's no way that they're going to be able to contest right now. They have to get onto it. No, I say that. Somebody was already on it. Who was that? Is that Poro? It was Poro on the Tracer. He's in the background trying to do everything he can to keep his team hope alive at the beginning of the series, because if they could take this map, it would put them up in map series here 3-1, as it is only going to be a best of 1 or best of 3 on the King of the Hill, as it looks like the Junkrat is going to go down, and MVP trying to buy themselves the opportunity, the chance, the moment that they need, but will it be enough? We'll find out in a second. Point flips, so overtime is over. MVP has bought themselves that opportunity. They have given themselves the chance. They have given themselves another shot in the dark to take this first map and not go down 0-1 in the best of 3 for the last map. Again, guys, it is just a best of 3 on Lijiang Tower. If they lose the first map, the team of MVP Space, they will have to win 2 maps in a row to win the series. Of course, the first team to win in a best of 3 is always going to be in a very nice position for the remainder of the best of 3, regardless of who ends up winning. Looks like Kuki taking a lot of damage. We'll see what ends up happening here, or who's taking him out, as 9K is able to take out the Zarya, pushing forward with the Transcendence, even though he has the Discord on. It doesn't matter with that Transcendence healing. He's going to go ahead and take out, help with the Axie, taking out another kill, and Axie's going to go ahead and push forward and take out MVP June. Pelka goes down as well, and these are just huge kills coming out over and over for the side of 2-up, as it looks like they are going to go ahead and maintain control of the point. They are going to try to prevent D.Va from getting on the point. Not good enough. D.Va will go ahead and stall up over time, but it's not going to be a big enough opportunity, I believe, from MVP to go ahead and capitalize and actually take the map, as they will get the sound barrier off, and maybe a Graviton Surge as well. It hits on 2, but that's a Graviton Surge for the side of 2-up, and a Deadeye from June is going to try to get something done, but it's just not enough. Pelka on that Reaper, switching from the Zenyatta, as the overtime is just going to run so quickly. Actually, now Winston, Kuki, with that Primal Rage, trying to get everything he can done, and no, just not enough, as he was the only one really on the point. He had to, of course, once again be in a position where he had to stay on the point while also creating space and zone. But that will be the first map going over to the side of 2-up. As I do need to switch up the titles again, guys. Yeah, I apologize. That is something I am messing up. I apologize, guys. It was something yesterday where they just kept staying sides. It was really convenient. I didn't ever once have to change titles. But if you guys do see anything like that in the chat, please do let me know if I need to update the titles, if I need to update the scores, if I miss anything, please do let me know. I am checking into chat as much as possible so that I can have that information along with you guys. We're going to go ahead and move on to the second map here. It is going to be Garden, as we're going to be taking the second map, and they're going to go ahead and stick with the pocket pick 2-up on this Junkrat. MVP Space not quite ready for that last map. We'll see if they're ready for it, if they can make the on-the-fly adjustments to deal with it, as the rollers are going to go in, starting to do as much damage as possible. Those grenades can just do so much damage if they are left unattended, or if the Junkrat is left unattended, and of course the area denial. They can't really stand on the point safely here on the right and left side. They're only able to set up behind that cover that you guys see right in front of your screen, and it looks like Poro is going to get the first kill of the match as he's able to take out June, as he's with his teammate of the Zarya, bubbling him up, keeping him alive. But no, this kill feed, that's exactly what we were talking about. The area denial, the spam coming out from the Junkrat, going to help set up Axie, giving him all the space in the world to operate as he gets a triple kill. The Junkrat gets himself a double kill. And this is 2UP right now, looking to take control early on of this map. And this is one of the maps, guys, that is the hardest to go ahead and retake control of. I mean, just kind of look at it from the perspective of the offense. You have to fight on a choke point, on a bridge. And if you go to the right side, which it looks like they are possibly going to do, doesn't look like it. They are just going to go ahead and go for the bridge here. So again, it is so hard to do it in this situation, as you are going to be stuck on a bridge. MVP, Kuki, all of them are going to be caught in the Graviton Surge. Pulse Bomb as well. It's just going to go ahead and clean house as Zarya gets 2 of the kills. Axie with the double kill as well. Axie's going to make it a triple kill. Does he go for the quad? No. Not going to go ahead and push out onto Pelka, but nonetheless, that is a good enough situation for them, as they will go ahead and accrue up to 40%, 2UP before the side of MVP Space is able to get anything done with the situation. Pelka does have access to an ultimate, of course, and could get something done with that, but they need to fight with the Transcendence. Well, June with a good pick, but now that Riptire, this could be the game-changing event, as no damage gone from that, as it is going to be Sliff going down to the... I guess he got bopped off by the Riptires and ended up going flying as the Graviton Surge comes out from the side of MP Space. We'll go ahead and see if we can see what's going on here, as it is 2UP caught on it. Transcendence comes out from FWJ to negate as much of that damage as possible. Bakuki with the self-destruct, not going to get anything done. MVP Space seems to be getting a decent fight going for themselves, but this Zarya at 76 charges is doing so much damage and maybe might have just won them the fight, as 9K gets himself a double kill, and Axie in the background still alive. Axie, we got to stay on him for a little bit longer, guys. This guy on Tracer, never dying, staying in the flanks, getting the damage done. Pulse Bomb, I believe he's had at least 3 or 4 on this map alone, doing huge amounts of damage for his team, constantly staying alive. And we have to factor in this thing right here, Graviton Surge available, as he could be getting a huge one here with the Pulse Bomb. This could just be the end right now, guys. This could just be our goodbyes to MVP Space, that they're going to lose not 1 but 2 to start off the fight. 95% is it's going to come down to the Lucio, as he needs to cart dance or a point dance as long as possible, but Sylph has already gotten found out. They know he's there, they know where he's going to be, and he's going to get meleeed down by the Tracer. No one's going to be left on the point, and MVP Space might have just got knocked out right here, right now, guys, as it will be a 2-0 on the map, a 2-1 on the series, going over to the side of 2UP, and MVP Space will be getting knocked out in the 3rd place match. They will be taking 4th place, and 2UP will be taking 3rd place overall in the Wooridongne Game League. 3rd place decided the bronze match, and upcoming next, guys, will be the finals. But this was absolutely an amazing match to watch. MVP trying everything they could to get their momentum back, to get what they could going, but June, I just don't feel like he plays to the same quality of Tracer as as the side of 2UP's Axie, and I really just felt like at the end of the day, June is a better McCree player. That was definitely well shown by the fact that his McCree play is absolutely amazing in the maps that he ended up playing in. But nonetheless, guys, we will be having more matches coming up for you guys in just a moment, as it is going to be the end of the bronze match. As you guys can see, the side of 2UP did take it 2-1. We'll be bringing you guys more action here in just a moment, but I want to go ahead and say is, first of all, thank you so much for all of you guys for tuning in. I know those of you who are in North America and tuning in, it is super early in the morning, as it is 5 a.m. where I am, 7 a.m. Eastern, or 4 a.m. Pacific time. I want to give a special thanks to you guys, European viewers. Of course, you guys are just as amazing tuning in the afternoon. It's just it's a little bit earlier here for us in North America, so I got to give a special thanks. But again, a big thanks to you guys. Without your guys' viewership, this just wouldn't be nearly as much as possible, and it wouldn't be nearly as much worth it, as you guys get to watch this content, get to see these players play, get to see what they can offer in the Korean scene, and get a better glimpse into it. But it is not over yet, guys. Definitely get out on social media, let people know the finals match is coming up right now, or right next, as I will be giving it a short break, so I can take a rest. I can go ahead and sit back, take a deep breath, give my voice a break, and awesome. So perfect. They are saying about a 5-minute break. We'll be ready. All right, but yeah, so I will go ahead and send it over to a break. But in a second, guys, I want to go ahead and say that the final match is starting in a second. Go ahead and spread the word about the stream. If you guys enjoy the commentary that was provided, you guys can follow me on Twitter at RaptorZOW, and also check out youtube.com/DotaRaptors for the VODs. Also down below, if you guys want more VODs, event information, go to Gosu Gamers, and the World Game League event page is there with the brackets, the streams, as well as the VODs. So plenty of information there, and that's one of the sponsors. Go ahead and say thank you to all of our sponsors. There are too many to name. Of course, there is a long list of them to help provide the monetary and as well as the payment for the studio that's going on for this event for the finals. But again, special thanks to Gosu Gamers, who were the ones who provided me with the opportunity. They've been very helpful throughout the entire way with information, and I just wanted to really give a big thanks to them along the way. But guys, that'll do it for now. We're going to go ahead and take a 5-minute break. I'm going to go ahead and get my voice rested, and we will be moving into the next match here in a moment, as we will be watching the side of Wooridongne take on Rhinos Gaming in a best of 5. Again, the winner, or best of 3, the winner of this will be winning $2,700, as well as a sponsorship, as well as gear, as well as a guaranteed spot in the next league. So winner takes all. This match is where all the glamour is, where all of the prestige is. So definitely get out on social media and let people know. And it definitely is rare. I mean, I think about it, MVP in Dota, very strong team. I think about MVP players in back in the day in StarCraft, not as much lately. I haven't been watching StarCraft as much, but back when I used to watch MVP players in StarCraft, very strong. But right now, they seem to be having a little bit of a slip up here in the Overwatch scene. But nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for watching. We will be bringing you the finals next. The finals match, it is coming up between Wooridongne, Rhinos Gaming. You guys are watching the Wooridongne Game League. Again, a special thanks to Gosu Gamers for providing all of the event information, and that you guys can go ahead and scroll down and get that information on your own web browser, as well as links to the Korean stream and the VODs over in the right hand side. But I'm going to go ahead and stop rambling, take a break, take a breather, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Definitely don't go anywhere, as we will be bringing you guys the finals here in just a moment. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are absolutely amazing. Stay beautiful. We'll be right back.